Is the AI gold rush turning into a giant bubble, ready to burst just like the dot-com era? Or is the biggest player in the game, Nvidia, actually writing a completely different story, one built on staggering profits and strategic genius? Nvidia, a name you hear almost constantly in tech news these days, has certainly been making some very big moves in the AI space. It's almost hard to keep up with their latest investments and partnerships. The one that really sparks both excitement and a healthy dose of skepticism is their involvement with powerhouses like OpenAI, xAI, and France's Mistral AI. Some observers are looking at these deals and starting to whisper about circular financing, drawing unsettling comparisons to the events that fueled the infamous dot-com bubble and its painful bust. Now, before we jump to conclusions, let's pump the brakes on the bubble talk for a moment. While circular financing definitely played a role in the unwinding of that great international bubble close to 25 years ago, I think it's unfair to assume we are seeing a repeat performance. You see, the valuations we are experiencing today, at least in my view, just aren't as obscene as they were during the dot-com peak. Consider this. At the time we're talking about this, Nvidia shares trade at just under 30 times forward price to earnings. That's not exactly a multiple screaming bubble, especially when you consider the real, profitable growth this GPU maker is delivering. In fact, you could argue that Nvidia stock looks remarkably cheap when you realize the company is still growing at more than 50% year over year, despite being a nearly $4.4 billion behemoth. Think about that for a second. A company its size, growing like a nimble startup. That's practically unprecedented, delivering real cash flow right here and now. Until the demand for AI chips suddenly drops off a cliff, and yes, that could happen, bringing a painful correction. It's incredibly difficult to honestly gauge how much froth currently sits in these AI names. Personally, I wouldn't use the word bubble to describe AI stocks. Borrowing a phrase from Fed Chairman Jerome Powell, I think fairly highly valued better describes the price of admission into these markets today. Why? Because we actually have a lot of healthy skepticism floating around, and critically, Nvidia is raking in serious cash. That incredible cash flow allows them to invest even more in other AI innovators. Of course, Nvidia has been investing considerable sums in AI startups for quite some time. It's simply that the sheer magnitude of their latest deals has become significantly larger. As their cash pile continues to swell, they will have even more to spend. I see a very strong chance that Jensen Huang and his team will achieve more than satisfactory returns on these investments. Perhaps Huang himself put it best when he told CNBC his only regret was not investing more in companies like Elon Musk's xAI and other emerging firms. You have names like OpenAI, which recently secured a massive reported $100 billion investment from Nvidia. Then there's Elon Musk's xAI, where Nvidia is poised to invest up to $2 billion as part of its latest funding round. And let's not forget France's Mistral AI. The exact size of Nvidia's stake remains undisclosed, but it's clearly significant. These are three AI titans that we simply cannot ignore now that Nvidia has substantial skin in the game. In many ways, Nvidia is strategically spreading its chips across the board, increasing its odds of hitting a winner while also expanding its broader exposure to the entire AI boom. That's an undeniably smart move with their growing buying power. Holding stakes in the firms behind Grok, ChatGPT, and Mistral's LeChat AI model, Nvidia seems perfectly positioned to become a huge winner from its bets. If their own chips keep selling at this pace, I wouldn't be surprised at all to hear about even more deals and up stakes from what is now one of the world's most valuable companies. Now, as retail investors, you cannot yet directly invest in these private AI innovators. But that's precisely why many would consider Nvidia itself a compelling investment. The company is pouring capital into firms, both large and small, that simply aren't available for the general public to bet on. Indeed, the very fact that so many pivotal AI innovators remain private, including OpenAI, leads me to believe we're not actually in an AI bubble yet. Perhaps things could change once these companies finally make their debut on public markets. In any case, OpenAI, xAI, and Mistral AI are absolutely the firms you should keep tabs on as the relationships between Nvidia and these large language model makers continue to deepen. What do you think? Are we on the cusp of a new tech revolution, or are these investments a sign of froth? Let us know your thoughts, and make sure to subscribe so you don't miss our next breakdown.